Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Yoga for Everybody class. Let's begin by getting comfortable either in a seated position or maybe even lying on your back with the knees bent. We're beginning our class today with a three-part breath. For the practice of a three-part breath, let's first find the breath low in the body, down into the belly region. And then we're going to bring the breath all the way up through the ribs and up to the heart, or just behind this sternum, this bone here. As we inhale, expanding the lower belly and abdomen out in front of the body and out to the side. Breathe into the low back. Bring the breath through the ribs and maybe lift your heart or feel your ribs slightly pulling away from the floor. If you're seated, you might feel that your ribs are slightly pulling forward and up to accentuate the breath. As we exhale, we relax the ribs back and down. We pull the belly in and we contract the sides of the body as well. Inhale, rounding the breath in the belly, rounding it in the back, expanding through the side ribs, coming up to the heart. Pull the ribs forward or up away from the floor. Bring the sternum bone up towards your chin. Relax your head and neck. Exhale, relaxing the chest, relaxing the belly, pulling the side ribs in. So we may want to continue focusing on the mechanics of the pose, breathing into the belly, and then moving the breath up into the chest and the heart space, expanding out, expanding up and forward. We could always begin to shape the breath with a little bit of a count with the mechanics. As we inhale, counting 1, 2, 3 at the heart, and then exhale, soften 3, 2, 1, contracting the belly. You may want to close your eyes and tune into that encouraging voice, into that inner coach leading you through the breathing technique. You could always keep your eyes open. If you're seated, I'll recommend that you look down towards the floor. If we're lying down, feel that your chin is slightly going down and in so that the back of the neck opens, releasing any tension at the base of the skull, releasing any tension through the sides of the neck, down into the middle back and shoulders. Inhaling through the nose when possible. At any time, if we notice that the breath is more accessible by breathing through the mouth, please do so. Preferably breathing in through the nose and trying to breathe through the nose, even if it requires a bit of effort. Exhaling from the throat. If we've had a lot of tension this morning or through this week, exhale from your throat as if you're going to try fogging a mirror. Inhaling through the nose or mouth, and then exhaling with a ha breath, as if you're trying to fog a mirror. So there's this effort on the exhale to push or to bring up any excess heat that represents any tension or any stress, opening up any physical or energetic blockages, freeing us up to be able to create a nice, peaceful foundation for our practice today. It all begins with the breath, pranayama. At any time, we may want to keep the lips pressing together, just a gentle press. And we could still breathe out from the throat. We might relax the middle and the back of the tongue. Take the tip of the tongue and touch it to your gum line just behind your 2 front teeth. This is a specific acupressure point. The purpose is to keep us fully aware of the physical body, of the sensations that will guide us through the practice. And at the same time, we transcend, our awareness moves out from our physical plane of awareness into more spiritual or energetic planes of awareness. jaw is soft, the tongue is relaxed, tip of the tongue to the gum line just behind the two front teeth. We're counting 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. And noticing the mechanics of the breath, encouraging the body to open and effortlessly receive the breath. Still a little effort on the exhale that we impose on the breath. Now, just one final layer to this foundational breathing technique. As you inhale, feel or see that the color blue is moving into your body. And it's a blue like a blue moon or a silvery gray shade of blue. Inhaling this blue light or having a sense of presence, being immersed in this blue energy. As you exhale, seeing that red, vaporescent, heated energy leaving from the body. So mindfully, we excuse any excessive energy. We unblock any energetic channels to release physical tension, to release pent-up emotion, or even just to mindfully stimulate circulation in the body, lymphatic system, respiratory, circulation of blood. Let's try this for one more mindful minute, and we'll take a quiet minute for you to practice this on your own. Inhale for 3, exhale for 3. Inhale blue, exhale red. One more easy breath like this. When you're ready, open your eyes. Just make note of what part of the body feels most connected to the earth. If we're lying down, checking in, is it the soles of the feet? Is it the low back? Maybe it's the back of the shoulders or the back of the head. If we're seated, notice if there's more connection forward or back. Is there more connection to the left or the right? Maybe even move a little bit diagonal with the body and just notice those points of contact that are effortlessly connecting to the earth today. And maybe from that place of awareness, we affirm to ourselves, here, I am connected. Now, I am connected in this place. Now, no matter where you are, bring the awareness down into the hips and the pelvis and let your hips rock left and right. So if you're lying on your back and your knees are bent, your knees might sway a little bit in order to get that little bit of a sort of a pendulation of energy shifting in the hips. And if you're seated, you can move the trunk of your body or gently shift left and right through the hips. So we're just energetically and mindfully shifting that physical awareness in our base of support. Come to a point where you feel that that base of support is completely centered. So there's not too much to the left or too much to the right. There's not too much forward and there's not too much back. I like to call this the Goldilocks effect. Find that point where it feels just right. So we don't want too much, don't want too little. Where's that centered point where we're able to create this sense of equanimity in the body? From that centered place, affirming, I feel centered. I am centered. Now, no matter where you are, let's take just the left arm and sweep it up and overhead. If you're lying on the floor, you might open your palm up and have your knuckles touching the floor, and maybe kind of like a snow angel with one arm. You just take your arm up and overhead, and then exhale, slowly bring that arm down and towards your side. Let's try it a couple more times with the same arm. Inhale, taking the arm up, overhead, reach through the fingertips, pull up through the armpit and rib, and then slowly bring it down again. Let's create rhythm with that movement and breath. Inhaling up, active reach, and then exhale down. Switch sides whenever it feels right for you. Inhale, fingertips out and up. Again, if we're lying on the floor, we might just be gently sliding the back of the hand and the arm across the floor. Feeling as if this movement initiates more from the shoulder and more from the side, heart, and ribs. And the arm is just kind of along for the ride. When you get to the fullest expression of that stretch, pull up from your rib, up from the armpit, then reach with the fingertips. Exhale, lowering down. Maybe just one more with this arm. Inhale up. Move from the armpit, open from that side rib. Reach through the fingertips, and then exhale down. At any time, for those of you who are seated, if you want to swap out the position of your legs, feel free to do so. Let's try that same movement, alternating the arms. Inhale, one arm up and overhead. Reach from the armpits through to the fingertips, and then exhale down. Switching arms with that next breath. Inhale and exhale. Option to close the eyes and establishing a rhythmic movement with our own breath, choreographing the movement with the breath. So really just waiting for that moment where we sense, it is time to inhale, then it's time to move. Create that gap in the awareness between sensation, active realization of the moment, and then initiating action in that moment. Same with the exhale. We come to the top of the breath. We notice the exhale, and then we move with the exhale, creating that gap between active awareness of physical sensation, pause, notice, and then decide and acting on that breath, moving with awareness. If your mind begins to wander at any time, just gently encourage the body and the mind to be here now. Stay in the moment. We're doing a few more of these with the arms, maybe just one more on each side. And of course, at any time, if you want to stay with a movement or stay in a pose, ultimately, this is your personal practice. We're all here today to create a personal experience based on some of the suggestions that I'm making for us to move today. Maybe one more on each side, or maybe establishing stillness through the body. No matter where we are, let's take a moment. And if we're seated, let's bend the knees. If we're lying on our backs, let's check to see or feel that the feet are at about hips width for the body. If you're seated on any type of a perch or pillow, check in and make sure you feel pretty stable in your support. Let's begin with a little bit of movement in the legs. So if you're seated, hands might come down to the side, or you can even come down to your elbows to create a little more support, taking pressure off the wrist. If you're lying on your back, continuing to recline back easy, let's begin to sway the knees left and right and allow the body to choose the direction of that rotation for you. Adding in choreographed breath to movement. Inhale when the knees are moving through center. Exhale as we twist and wring out the spine, wringing out the low back. We might even begin to look in the opposite direction of the twist so that energy through that spiraling line of energy moves all the way from the tailbone up through the spine, the neck, and the head. Notice if it feels good to stay on one side a little longer. Maybe we notice parts of the low back or parts of the outer hip that may feel a little tender, or places that feel a little bit of relief when they hold the stretch. Move whenever your body is craving movement. Embrace stillness in those moments when your body wants stillness. Refine your practice around what you feel is right for your body. Now, if you're lying on your back, let your knees roll over to one side for a moment. And if we're seated, we might just come over to sort of a side seated position. Let's find our breath. For those of us who are lying on the floor, please come up nice and slow so that your blood pressure stays happy. From here, let's move into all fours position. And then from all fours, we can take this into either child's pose or into puppy dog pose. So your child's pose expressions can have the knees really wide, the ribs might sort of rest or nestle down between your thighs. Your head can be to the side, the head can be forward. As an alternative to protect the knees, we could bring them in, or we can lift the hips, and you could relax the head down as well. Keep a little bit of rounding in the middle back and upper back. We're stretching, just a gentle stretch through the low back, through the kidneys. Arms are a little bit in front of the body to open the armpits and the side ribs. Let's breathe into the low back, breathe through the middle back, breathe to the space under the armpits. Exhale, big exhale. Let all the breath go. Let's take 2 more big breaths into the back sides of the lungs. When you're ready, look forward. Let's draw the hands in close to the body and take the knees out to hips width. Let's also separate the toes just for today. Tuck the toes under, push back through your heels, just a little bit of pressure into the balls of the feet. You might even push into your hands or into the elbows to encourage a bigger stretch in the soles of the feet. We're just checking in or introducing sensations into the soles of the feet. And those signals in the feet move up all the way into the low back and hips. We're introducing in a very subtle way these sensations to the body before we come up to standing. When you're ready, shifting, let's find a neutral all fours position, either from the elbows or on the hands. As you inhale, lift the left elbow up, lift the left arm up, open and look over your left shoulder. Exhale, sweep that left hand between your right hand and knee under the armpit along the floor, and maybe bring that left shoulder towards the floor, then look to the right. Inhale, slowly come to center. Again, either from elbows or hands, we can do this. Inhale, taking the right elbow up, right arm up, looking to the right. Exhale, weave it through the left. Palm is facing up, dropping the right shoulder towards the floor. If this feels like it's creating maybe an unsafe position for the body, put a pillow, a block, or even a yoga mat under your head to create a greater sense of support. When you're ready, come through center. Inhale, left arm up, looking to the left. And then exhale, sweep it through, twist to the right, look to the right. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, neutral. Other side, inhale, right. Exhale, sweep it through, look to the left. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, establish the neutral base. Couple more on each side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, establish neutral. Exhale, relax. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come up to all fours. Exhale, neutral. One more on each side. Inhale, opening. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, foundation. Last rhythm. Inhale, open. Last sequence. Exhale, twist. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, establish your foundation. Great. Let's move into a few cat and cows. Exhale, pull up from the belly and round the spine, deeply contracting the abdomen, belly in and up. Hang the head, shake it, yes, turn it left and right. Find the in-breath, release the belly into cow pose. Inhale, dropping the belly, hips pull back, crown of the head lengthens forward and up. Exhale, rounding the spine, tailbone tucking down, head dropping. Inhale, dropping the belly. Maybe establishing a rhythm as one breath with one movement for the body. And if you notice that it maybe just feels good to stop or to hold the pose at any time, just pause right there and allow the body to sort of rest in that comfortable place. Inhaling through the nose, exhale from the throat, lips are touching. Let's do one more of each, no matter where you are with this. Now let your body choose stillness. So you might choose stillness in a pretty big expression of cat or cow, or you might choose stillness somewhere in between the two. It could even be completely neutral spine or a flat back where the body chooses stillness. No matter where we are in that still point, let's rock the head to the left and the right a little bit, opening up the side of the throat, stretching the muscles behind the ears, the muscles that move all the way up to the temples and then even behind the eyeballs. Continue to press your shoulders away from your ears, no matter where you are, shoulders away from the ears. Hang the head loose at neutral, shake the head, yes, turn it left and right. Moving into either down dog, dolphin, puppy dog or child's pose. If you want to take a down dog, reach your hands forward. We can elevate the wrist, taking a little bit of pressure off the wrist if there's any carpal tunnel, or come down onto your elbows for your expression of down dog. From here, shifting forward, tucking the toes, lifting the knees, lifting the hips, bringing the body into an inverted V expression. We can walk the dog, alternating a heel press back, introducing just a little more pressure into the bones of the legs and up through the hips and the spine. Now check in with your body. If this is interrupting your comfort in any way, bring the knees down and maybe just roll back through the foot, one leg at a time. So it's okay to notice when we are investing a little more effort. Maybe the body is experiencing sensations that aren't quite painful, but maybe we don't think it feels really great, right? It's okay to decide for ourselves to work through those sensations. That's going to be part of the personal practice. But at any time, if we have a sensation and we determine this is painful, just move away from it, move towards comfort. Let the body ease into the practice and maybe just work around that body part instead of with it. Let's pedal through the feet or stretch the legs back a few more times. From wherever you are, come to a still point. Let's step one foot forward and then the other, finding an expression of a standing forward fold, hanging the head nice and loose. We might put the hands on the shins or thighs. You can even hold on elbow to elbow and add in a gentle sway of the hips left and right. Hang your head loose. Let the back round, let the low back round. Slightly pull your tailbone down and in so you're cradling the organs in the pelvis and protecting the energy through the belly. Let's hold it here and practice a few big exhales. One more. When you're ready, soften through the knees, reverse swan dive. Let's bring the body up. As we come up into standing, let's establish a strong mountain foundation. The feet are about hips width apart. So interpreting hips width as maybe the pelvis bones or maybe out to the width of the actual fleshy hip. Bend the knees a little bit. Let's inhale and sweep the arms overhead. Big breath in. Fly the arms, take them back. 2 more big breaths like this, flying the arms. Let's bring the hands to our heart, palms together, thumbs pressing to the chest. Step your left foot back. Inhale, open the arms with the palms up. Big breath in, chest expansion. Exhale, come to center and step to center. Inhale, taking the right foot back, open the arms, lean back into that back leg. Shift forward, closing with the breath. Inhale, other foot back and open, shift back. Exhale, bend the front knee. So let's keep shifting or alternating left leg, right leg with the breath. And we'll continue to rock the energy forward and back, kind of like a rocking horse type motion for the body. We always have the option to close the eyes. So if you notice that your mind is wandering, if you're feeling slightly distracted with the movement, even with choreographing movement to breath, sometimes the brain still wanders behind that. If your mind is wandering, close the eyes. As soon as we close the eyes, we might notice that the body gets a little shaky or a little uncertain of where it is in space and time. For the most part, our body goes first to our visual context or to visual stimulation to keep us centered. But we really need to trust or lean on what we feel more than what we see to create this sense of security in the body. So as you shift forward and back, if your mind is wandering, close your eyes, take a smaller step back. Allow the practice to be shaped and guided by your physical sensations. And again, it's really common for the body to feel a little shaky, a little wobbly, maybe even off center. That's just part of the reprogramming, part of the learning process. Move a little slower. Be a little kinder with the practice. Give the body time to adjust. Let's do one more on each side. So even this up at your leisure. And eventually we meet with the hands at the heart and we meet with our feet in mountain pose. Opening our eyes, let's inhale both arms up and overhead, extended mountain. Option to lace the fingers and invert the palms. The palms might be slightly in front of the body or directly up overhead. Take a moment, become aware of the sensations in your neck, sensations in the shoulders, in the middle back, even under the ribs. If there's any pain at all, bend the elbows, drop those shoulders, maybe even bring the hands in front of the body to eliminate excessive pressure. No matter where you are with those hands, lean over to the right, pull up from the left armpit, and then bend the left knee, dropping that left hip, opening up the left side of the body. Imagine you're breathing just into the upper part of your left lung. You may want to look forward or even down to the right. Exaggerate the inhale under the left armpit, around the left shoulder. Notice the expression on your face and give yourself a little smile. It is a beautiful day. Let's bring it through center, bringing the head to neutral, check in, lean over to the left, opening the right side of the body, pull up from the armpit, bend the right knee. It's gonna drop that right hip. It's gonna kick that left hip a little bit out to the side, push into the inside blade of the left foot, relax the right foot, exaggerate the breath in the upper right part of the lung. Maybe look down to the left. One more big breath. When you're ready, let's come through center, reaching the arms up overhead, and then exhale, bring the hands down to your sides. Let's step the feet out into a standing straddle, having both toes forward. Take your left toe and turn it out, keeping the right toe forward and the left toe out. So your feet are perpendicular. Let's bend our left knee and extend the arms out at shoulder height. Let's turn our palms forward and flow through warrior two. Inhale, straightening the left leg. Bring the arms overhead and look up. Exhale, lower the hands down, palms forward. And now press the palms down. Warrior two. Look beyond the left fingertips. Inhale, bringing the arms up and overhead. The movement, again, it's kind of like a snow angel. And then exhale, arms down at shoulder height. Press the palms down and bend through that left knee. Let's try this a few more times. Option to close the eyes. Again, feeling our way through the pose, allowing the body to make decisions based on what we feel is right for us. And we can change our mind at any time. This is your personal practice. Our body is our teacher in this. Let's hold our next warrior two expression. Take the left hand or elbow to your left thigh. Let those hips sway or kick back to the right. The lower we go with the arm, the more of a stretch this is going to encourage on the right side of your body. Take the right arm up and straight up to the sky. We can look up, creating a big stretch with a lot of effort through the neck. We could look forward, a little more neutral, or we can look down towards the floor. So the stretch becomes just a little kinder, less pressure on the joints. Holding side angle pose. If you're curious about maybe creating some different sensations here, you could always explore the pose by reaching towards the floor or even holding on to your own front ankle, straightening that left leg. And again, just staying in touch, staying aware with the different sensations that might reveal themselves throughout the practice. Notice the sensation, pause, study it for a moment, then act. Remaining still is still an act in itself, being in the pose. You can change positions. When you're ready, slowly bend that front leg. Inhale, rising up, warrior two, through that side angle. Let's bring the hands to the hips. Turn the left toe forward and the right toe out. At any time, if you notice you want to lengthen the stride a little, just inch that left foot back a tiny bit. Let's bend our right knee. Bring the arms out and overhead. Straightening that right leg. Inhale. Exhale, palms coming down, pressing down into warrior two, looking past the right fingertips. Inhale, rising up. Movement like a snow angel or a jumping jack. Pressing through the fingertips. Option to close the eyes. Once the movement is imprinted into the body memory, close the eyes, focus on the breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale from the throat, keeping the lips lightly pressed. Let's hold our next expression of warrior two, looking boldly, bravely beyond those right fingertips. Mighty warrior two, Vira, Vajrasana, the V. When you're ready, maybe bringing that right hand to the thigh or the right elbow. Extending up through the left fingertips, position the head. And even as we experiment with the head position, we are wringing out the bigger blood vessels, the lymphatic system, stimulating the lymph nodes that move from the throat and the head down towards the chest. Let's find a still point. Shoulders press away from the ears, no matter what position we choose. Maybe exploring a little more by straightening that right leg or even sliding the hand to the shin or the ankle, allowing that hand to move into a different position anywhere except the knee joint. This posture puts the knee in a little bit of a vulnerable position, so we're going to avoid pressure on the knee. Inhale through the nose, exhale from the throat. Soften the expression on your face. One more easy breath here. When you're ready, let's bend our front knee, bend the right knee. Slowly rise up through side angle to warrior two. Let's bring our hands to the hips. Turn both toes forward. Standing straddle. Soft through the knees. Pushing the hips back. Walking the hands, maybe keeping the hands at the tops of the thighs. Or walk the hands again past the knees. They could go to the thighs, the shins, the ankles. Maybe reach out to the floor in front of you. And it might begin to feel a little bit like a down dog with the legs wide. So notice if it feels good for your body to keep the feet planted on the floor, or if it feels better to shift the weight forward, maybe put a little weight in the hands and lift the heels just a tiny bit. Let's keep a soft kink in the knees so there's healthy circulation of blood, healthy circulation of thoughts and ideas that can get locked in the kneecaps too. We want to move that energy out of the body. Shake the head yes. Turn the head left and right. Breathe out from the throat. Strong exhale. One more strong exhale, similar to Bastrika. Forced exhale, like a hop. When you're ready, slowly plant the feet. Walk the hands in and up. Let's come up nice and slow. Let's take our sweet time. Eventually walk the feet in a little closer. Moving into our standing balancing pose. We can take our hands to the heart or the hips for balance. Maybe hold on to a chair or a wall for support. No matter where you are, let your body choose and stand on one leg. Let's lift the opposite knee. Option to take that knee out to the side, maybe rest the foot down close onto the floor or slide that foot up on the leg anywhere but the knee joint. Moving into tree pose, Vrikshasana. If you were standing on carpet, if you're on some sort of a padded flooring or textured floor, this can create a completely different experience. I don't want to say easier or harder, but it could create a different experience in general. Notice where the hands may want to go to create more of a sense of balance in the body. Lower the head, lower the gaze to look past your cheeks and past your nose towards the floor. This is where we find a greater sense of center. Smile. When you're ready, relax the arms and relax the legs. Let's take our time and switch sides. First, firmly rooting down through our standing leg, lifting the other leg, opening our knee to the side. We may keep our toe on the floor. The essence in this pose is to take the weight a little more into one leg. So we're weight bearing more onto one side of the body. In this act of weight bearing, we're focusing on healthy bone density. Repositioning the arms and the hands in any way that we feel creates a little more of a sense of center. So maybe it doesn't create more balance, but maybe we discover sensations that are more playful or more enjoyable, things that spark more curiosity in our lives. Continue to lengthen through the crown of the head and drop the chin, look down past the cheeks, past the nose. Breathe deep. When you're ready, soften the whole body. Let's step both feet to the floor. Establish a firm foundation through your feet. Wiggle out the knees, roll out the ankles. At this time, I'll recommend you grab a sip of water. Let's take our time transitioning down onto the floor, hinging from the hips, taking one foot back at a time, and then coming around into seated. You might want to grab a yoga block, a pillow, a mat, a bolster, a blanket. For the next seated posture, we may want to elevate the hips a little bit. This can create more neutrality in the low back. It can take pressure out of the sciatic nerve and lumbar spine. From wherever you are, make your left leg dominant. That might mean crossing the left ankle over the right. It could be something where you're seated like this, or it could be crossing all the way over. So the pose that we're expressing today is cow's face pose, Gomukh Asana. These are supposed to be the lips of the cow. Grounding down through that left hip. Let's take our right arm up and pat ourselves on the back. So this could be a sweeping motion where we reach and then bend the elbow. We might drop the elbow. We might even keep the fingertips light to the side. Just noticing energetically what is your body appreciating the most. Let's take our left arm, take it up, sweep it back, and bring the left knuckles down by your low back. Some of you are probably familiar with this pose, and you might already be attempting to reach fingertip to fingertip or hand to hand. So feel free to express this pose any way that feels right for you. So in case you're still getting familiar with this pose, I am going to turn around and show you my hands in the pose. It can be here, here, here. Of course, that expression of hand to hand is here. As we're holding cow's face pose, imagine you're breathing up into that upper right lung. Exaggerate the breath, exaggerate the awareness in this space. Bow the head, the neck, and the chin. Relax the muscles in the back of your neck. When you're ready, slowly relax one arm at a time. Easy on the shoulders. Let's slowly switch out the legs, making our right ankle dominant or the right leg dominant in some way. Let's take our left arm, sweep it up and bring it over. Establish comfort in that shoulder. Take the right arm up and around, knuckles by the low back, maybe holding on fingertip to fingertips or palm to palm. No matter where you are, press down into that right hip and pull up from the left armpit. Press down into the left hip and shift the rib cage a little bit over to the right. Let's just check in and feel that all of these organs are open, the spine is lengthening. Drop the head, the neck, and the chin. Breathe mostly into the upper left lung. Inhaling through the nose, exhale from the throat. When it feels right for you, release the palms. Let's soften just one shoulder at a time. Easy does it with that energy. And take your time for the next few minutes in our closing meditation. I'd like you to decide for yourself if you want to lie down or if you want to stay seated. Some of you might have a lot of things that you want to do today, and maybe you know you're going to fall asleep in meditation. So maybe position yourself in any seated position. You could even sit close to a wall or sit in a chair. If you know that you want to lie on your back, take a moment and get comfortable. Take your time to find any still point where you're able to focus on your breath. This is where it all began for us today. It all began with diaphragmatic three-part breathing in the body. As you establish that place of stillness, breathe to your belly, through your ribs, breathe up through your heart, and then exhale, relax the heart, relax the ribs, and relax the belly. Three-part breath. So we began class today with this foundation of a three-part breath where we felt the breath in the body physically. We counted the breath. So we recruited parts of the brain that are listening from the inside, tuning into an inner voice, tuning into inner dialogue. Then we added in color. So seeing the color blue, exhaling the color red. Let's add in emotion, which is another sense, another sensation to interpret, and maybe closer linked to a sixth sense in the body. As you inhale, breathe in compassion. What is it to feel compassion? To draw that in with the breath. Draw it in from the universe, draw it in from God, draw it in from oxygen. Just bring in compassion. And as you exhale, feel as if you are extending grace. What is it to feel that there's grace that moves from the body? So we inhale compassion, and through the transformative power of love, we're able to give grace. Let's try this for about 3 minutes silently. Inhaling compassion, exhaling grace. let's shift the color to pink, a rosy, light pink, all around us. This color represents compassion, grace, and understanding. From wherever you are, you may want to place the hands on your belly and maybe even a hand on your heart. You may want to stay where you are. Maybe the body needs a little more time to embrace stillness here. If you feel like you want to open your eyes or move around a little, feel free to do so. As this concludes your physical practice for the day, I leave you with our blessing of Namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells, a place of infinite love and infinite light. We are all in this place together and we are one. Peace be with us all. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining me in our practice today. If you'd like to explore some other unique practices, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Skyla Ramirez, and you're also welcome to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Have a lovely day, everyone.